When you know that something is only holding you back, you really, really need to just let it go. This is a message directly to myself because it's a lesson that's been being taught to me the last couple of weeks. I know it. I continue to constantly shrug it off and then find myself being like, why am I so upset? Why am I not happy? Just stomping around, sad, angry, and just not a pleasant person to be around in general. Until eventually, by the grace of God, quite literally, I will remember what's going on, remember all of the changes I've made in my life, and start living the life that is full of love and centered around love. And when I'm that person, when I'm operating in that way, doing the movements that that person does, my mood immediately gets better. I have much more clearness of mind, and I have a purpose again. and and when I get on the other side of that glass, and I can look back into where I was and be like, what was I doing wrong? Every time, and I knew this already and I refused to acknowledge it, every time it's because I was living in patterns and habits that were from a previous life that I was unhappy in. And like an insane person, again and again, I would do the same thing, being like, what's wrong? I used to be happy and now I'm not. I'm doing what I've always done. Not realizing that those two things are very connected. Not admitting that. Because on some level, I do know, and on some level, the reality is I don't want to give those things up yet. But it's a dead branch. The reason I'm making this video and because it became unavoidable is because I was looking at that plant behind me, and prior to making this video, there was just a lot of dead branches all around it. Because I'm not great at taking care of plants. This is the first plant I've ever taken care of, and I'm not good at it. I'm very forgetful, I'm not good at it. And because of that, a lot of the branches have died. And I just been like looking at it for the last week or two and been like, man, I wish I didn't see all these dead branches in here anymore. Like, I wish they'd come back to life. Like, truly wishing for the impossible to happen. And only today did it become unavoidable. Or did the correlation appear in my head of, these are all the bad habits that I keep finding myself in. They exist among my good habits that are flourishing, yet I'm unwilling to make the distinction to realize that some of these branches are dead. That these will not bring life, these will not bring joy. And for the rest of those branches to flourish, for new growing branches to appear, to flourish, the dead must be done away with, left behind. I mean, in the case of that, put in the garbage. But left behind. You get the message of this video by now. All of the rest is just kind of me talking on top of it. But it needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be really, really seen. It's so something. Let me find the right word. It's so silly how I allow myself to be fooled through lack of object permanence, where I'm not looking at this thing, so it doesn't exist. Or I'm not actively acknowledging that the thing I'm looking at is real, so therefore it doesn't exist. We do this with our problems all the time. I do this with my problems all the time, where always in the end, I'm like, oh, I knew that. And really, I was just putting off making a change. I may make another video about this in the coming days or weeks, but there's so much I still want to hold on to. Even though I see that at its core, these things I want to hold on to are dead and they bring no joy, they bring no life. Just the idea that they may is enough hope to just like keep trying. Maybe this thing that only was making me selfish or making me focus on things that didn't matter. Like maybe if I just wait long enough, it will be important to how I share love. There's this clinging, and whenever you're clinging to the past, the present, whatever it is, you're clinging, you are stuck. You're truly stuck. How can you ever grow when you're stuck? And so I'll watch other people I follow, friends, family. I'll see them excelling and them expanding in their breadth of knowledge and all of that. And I'll be like, oh man, I'm falling behind. I really got to get this thing going. And how that manifests is clinging harder to this thing that is dead. Because like I've already invested so much time. I've been watching this plant, this dead branch on this plant for so long. I mean, I've been watching it for days, for weeks. It's got to come back to life eventually, right? If I just keep putting my attention on it. It's an idea of who I am at the end of the day. It's an idea, an image of a person. And as I've said many times before, we are not images. We are not an identity. That an identity means we are concrete, and concrete can't move, can't love, can't dance, can't laugh. Can't do much of anything. It needs to be left behind. It needs to be acknowledged for what it is, as a false identity. It needs to be acknowledged that who you are clinging to truly can't exist in anything more than a moment. And then what? And then you're lost, and then you don't know who you are. Because an image can only exist in one very, very rigid form. We can't freeze. We can't freeze in that same way. The good news is that the way the world works, or at least the way I've experienced it, one way or another, you have to make the choice to let that go, whether that's willingly or kicking and screaming. Because this realization only came around to me because I've been so upset and so much in pain the last couple of weeks, on and off, just like moments of hope, and then all is lost. Back and forth, and just getting worse and worse and worse until I'm on the ground kicking and screaming. Something needs to change. I wish for anything but this. And then the moment that becomes real, you're set free. You unfreeze. You can take a step forward and look back at who you were, who that solid image was, and why it could never bring you joy, happiness, love, anything like that. And sometimes it'll just take that pain. Sometimes you have to suffer. People always say, what's the point of suffering? Not like some 29-year-old dumbass is worth listening to on that. But to me, the point of suffering is because sometimes you're dragging your feet too long. Sometimes change is necessary. It must happen. And the only way to get your attention on that is by seeing all of the harm that you're causing to yourself every time. So you suffer, and you suffer, and you suffer, and you suffer until you choose differently. And it does not need to be that way. You can choose differently with grace. I hope every day to be able to do that. And I'm working on it, but we're getting there, you know? This is a process, and this only ends up at one destination. All of this has already happened. We're just looking back. I wish you the best of luck. Peace.